Today we're going to take a look at replacing one of the fan assemblies on the front of this 2010 Honda Accord equipped with a 3.5 liter engine. Now there's two separate fans here. We've got the one with a metal shroud here, which is located on the passenger side of the vehicle, sometimes referred to as the condenser fan. And then the one on the driver's side of the vehicle is a plastic housing, most commonly referred to as a radiator cooling fan. Yes, they're both affecting the radiator and condenser, but nobody invited me to the labeling party there, so that's just what they're called. But make sure that when you're doing these, you're getting the correct one here. So today we're going to be working on the one referred to as a condenser fan. And so this is the steel one located on the passenger side of the vehicle. So relatively straightforward. We have the electrical connector right here. We've got two bolts on the top that tie it to the radiator. And then on the bottom, we've got a couple slots here. There's two bolts to go through on the bottom, and we don't need to completely remove those. So yes, you can go underneath the vehicle. If you choose to jack it up, always make sure that you put jack stands under there for safety. In many cases, you can reach under there, loosen it up, and those bolts don't have to come all the way out. Just simply loosen them up so we can slide this out of there. So let's get started here. First thing I need to do is pull the hose off the overflow tank. Now this one slid off relatively straightforward and pretty easy. We don't want to pry or push on it too much because remember, this is a plastic radiator here. We don't want to damage that. Next, I'm going to grab the overflow bottle and simply slide it up. This sits in a little notch, and so we can pull that up out of the way. And of course, it's important that we're working on a cooled off vehicle. I don't want to be doing this while the vehicle is hot, run the chance of injury. Now I can take a 10 millimeter wrench. In this case, I'm just using a ratchet and a socket here, and I'm going to remove the two upper bolts. There. Now I've got the two upper bolts loose. I'm going to be able to move the fan assembly here. And I'm going to see if it'll just sneak out. And in this case, it's not. I'm going to actually have to go underneath and loosen up those two bolts and the slotted holes that I mentioned before. So now I'm going to go underneath, loosen those two bolts. And once that's complete, I'll be able to lift this fan assembly up out of there. Easier access to the electrical connector, disconnect it, and we're ready to install the new one. So I crawled underneath and just used a ratcheting end wrench. I could reach my hand up underneath and actually get at the two bolts on the bottom, and gave them about a quarter turn just to loosen this up a little bit. And really that's all I needed there to get a little more room. So now I can pull this up, reach in, grab the electrical connector, and just like that, we're able to pop our old fan unit out of here. So I'm going to set that one off to the side. We'll take our new one, and similarly we have the same tabs there. So I'm going to start by making my electrical connection first. I'll get that plugged in. Slide those tabs down over the studs. Make sure everything lines up properly here. Get it set down in place. And then I'm going to be ready to install my bolts, put my overflow bottle back in place, hook up the hose here. And then if we have bidirectional controls with our scan tool, I'm going to run the fan on and off to make sure it works. Otherwise, we can run the vehicle, bring it up to operating temperature, turn the air conditioning on to full, ensure that both of these fans actually work. In some cases, if the first fan was faulty, it may have blown a fuse or something like that, so always remember to check that too. Once we make sure it's working properly, button it up, call it good. Hopefully now you understand the process required to replace the passenger side fan assembly on a 2010 Honda Accord.